First and foremost, all praises, glory, honor goes to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash, double honors. To the elder apostles at Great Millstone that taught us this true citation, all y'all can push this word day in and day out. Doing this quick lesson. This could be a skit because they got the cameras right on cue. It's just rolling like who's recording this shit. But, this shit is going down, though. For real, for real. All right, what you see is a table full of wildebeest, aka Eve, so-called black woman. These are primarily women from the tribe of Judah, right? This is black culture, right? Hair weaves, tattoos, lace fronts, BBLs, you know. But like I said, this shit goes down every night. I'm surprised they let them in the restaurant because Eve, in packs like this, they known to dine and dash, you know what I'm saying? Or they known to just be loud for no apparent reason, using obscene language and so forth, man. All right, so let me play this quick clip.
I'm not splitting no check. I told them to get simple. I'm not splitting no check with y'all, so I don't know why y'all trying to split no check. I'm not doing it. I didn't eat all that y'all ate. Y'all getting drinks and y'all didn't get all that. I got this. No, it don't matter. It's my birthday. I got it paid for. We're not gonna do this birthday. So y'all trying to split the check? Who paying for your shit? I'm paying for my own shit. We need to get simple checks. I'm not splitting no check. I'm not waiting till 24 hours. Why am I splitting the check with y'all? I'm not splitting the check though. I'm at Howard though. I'm paying for my own shit. I'm not splitting no check because I didn't eat all that. Got drinks and all that y'all got. But we always do that. I don't always do a fuck thing. I don't eat with y'all. I be by myself. You can make a difference. This is I don't eat with y'all. I be by myself. I pay for my food. I pay for my son. I don't eat with y'all. I'm not splitting no check. Y'all drink no more of this bottle though. I ain't got to. I ain't got to. I'm too good. You feeling great? I'm too good. You feeling great?
Yeah, so I think they from like Atlanta. They sound like they got like an Atlanta accent. Definitely down south somewhere, but I want to say like a Georgia accent. I want to say, all right. So, like I said, you see the umbrellas, the eyelashes, just being demons, man. Talking about splitting the check. Okay, she said it was her birthday. The little cinnamon or brown skin caramel sister, so-called sister right there, right? She said it was her birthday. She's expecting her friends to pay it, the tab, pick up the tab. But, Eve is cheap. So she like, fuck that. We pay, y'all gotta pay for your own shit. I pay for my shit. Cause, gone are the days where them bitches. Cause you see, in my generation, right, these same hoes in my generation, cause they look a little younger. They look like they could be anywhere between, early 20s to early 30s. I give them. So they probably younger, my generation, Gen Y, or they could be Gen Z. Because you can see, they could be Gen Z, especially the one that's doing most of the talking, because, she still got her little figure, you know what I'm saying? And she like, hell no, I ain't paying for all y'all bitches. This is how friendships break up. But they're not friends anyway. They just wanna click up, man, and go out places and shit. That's how most of these bitches do. All right. But women in my generation, right? Because I'm in my early 40s. They they had the money, to go out and splurge at a restaurant. I don't know if they're in America or what, but between the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that's on the camera, it could be 7, 8, because it look like I see some legs right here. So let's say between the 8 of them, the bill could be goddamn $400 easy, right? But in my day, 8 people go out and spend like 100 or 200. You know what I'm saying, at the most. All right. So 400 is a lot of money. That's like It's not even the average car note, because I'm hearing the average car note in Babylon is like $600-700. But in my time, car notes was like 300-400, between $200 and $400. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, but them bitches had it in my generation. Like them bitches was really, really didn't need a man. In the 2000s, 2010s, they really didn't need a man because Esau's turn them into career bitches. But now they ain't career bitches no more. Most of these bitches are what, eyelash technicians. They got a word for eyelash esthetician or whatever they call themselves. They're doing eyebrows and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they really don't have no steady income, man. All right, that's why they busy popping babies, throwing niggas under the bus, child support court and all that shit. Which, hey man, through the spirit, because I think the Lord ain't none of these bitches set me up or trap me up with a baby. But through the spirit, one day I may go to the courthouse, man, do a testimony on it, and sit down at these family court / child support hearings, man. And do my little observation on some Charleston White shit. You know what I'm saying? If the spirit jump on me, you know what I'm saying? If I'm already in that area, because I got to go to the courthouse anyway, when I have the time to do some other shit, some other research. But I may sit down in one of these family court cases, man. And I'm sure the woman that's going to be in there is going to look exactly like these nigga women here, man, all right? So, and it's crazy because at one time these were once the most feminine women on earth, all right? A long, long time ago, right? Thousands of years ago. But now they the most masculine woman on earth, okay? So let me get some precepts, man. They the laughing stock, man. Eve, man. They ain't gotten all of them bald headed. Every last one in this clip bald headed, right? Eating abominations more than likely, sushi or some shit like that. All right. Just check the votes. She said everybody said she was right for this on the votes. All right. Somebody said, Edomite said, I bet the tip was absolute shit from that table. Yeah. Eve don't tip, man. It's one thing about Eve. She don't tip. But one thing I noticed from reading the comments, because the Edomite woman, they like a little bit ahead of. Yes, lucky for running so long, but we're seeing the downfall of our enemies too. Because the Edomite woman, she's down bad too. She's just a step ahead. Like she probably got like a few thousand more in the bank than the so-called black woman, especially the Edomite woman that's like my generation and younger. Generation Y and younger, they're not doing too good, man. So let me get this precept. Isaiah 32:8, but the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand, man. Yeah, because Esau's the top liberal, right? He tell you can do what you want, worship what you want, eat what you want, wear what you want. This is his utopia, This is his wet dream, He done destroy these women, all the women sitting at that table. I mean, they not, as loud as, a black woman can be, because, they probably like I said, some broke ass bitches. They probably some broke ass broads, man. So they just sitting there quiet, like, oops, They ain't got a nigga that, because there used to be a time, especially in my era, right, when I was in my youth, like a table full of bras like that. Let's say if they didn't have the money, because Eve will blow her money on a bag or on an actual purse. Let's say they didn't have money. There was always like one nigga they could call that could, just because back then in the 2000s you had like Western Union, He was like, yeah, just Western Union the money so we could pay this bill we out to eat. Now of course, for the past 10 years or so, everything's Cash App digital, Zelle, Cash App, and so forth. These payment, Apple Pay, iPhone Pay. But they ain't got no niggas they can call that got it, man. Because, looking at them, they dealing with them hood Tyrone type niggas, And Tyrone, he's not going to save them hoes. And the guys that used to be able to save them, they done woke up. They're like, oh, nah, I ain't going to get no pussy from this bitch. He trying to use me, So, this is the Lord visiting Eve, man, It's the Lord visiting Eve, man. Which, even her, she got that weird hair and shit, but like you could tell she's not, these ain't like the ugliest. They're not the ugliest of Eve. You done seen some way uglier Eves than this. Just that big one at the end of the table. She's like a little monster. And let me see what this chocolate one on the right. Yeah. She could be suspect too. The chocolate one on the right. But, they not horrible looking Eves, you know what I'm saying? They just got all that dumb shit on, umbrellas, 30-inch weaves and shit. Purple hair. But, they're not ugly, hideous. I wouldn't deal with them, but I done seen some worse Eves than this table. You know what I'm saying? But this is the Lord visiting our enemies, man. And it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Aren't these women at ease? They not home taking care of their kids. They got some babies. They got at least 5 babies amongst that table, man. They ain't at home taking care of their kids, taking heed to their man or baby father or whatever. Making home cooked meals, and they out there at ease, man, turning up, getting drunk, eating someone else's food. Hear my voice, you careless dogs. Yeah, these nigga women are careless as hell. And through her, we all had to taste death, man, because of Eve, man. Yeah, even the phone had to chime in. All right. Hear my voice, you careless dogs, give ear unto my speech. So it says, pretty much make sure you hear this shit, you fucking hoes, man. Because that's all them women are. They harlots, man. Like, that's why it shouldn't be no brother that say, oh, I can't get no box. Like, you got women like that, walking around the streets, man, just looking for ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially nowadays, they're looking for a first night ride. They ain't waiting for the second date. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even got a smooth talking or sweet talking. You can get. That's one thing about today's modern woman. You ain't got a smooth talking out their panties like you had to do in my era, talking about game and shit. I mean, these women are raunchy. They're aggressive. So, you can talk to them in like manner. You feel me? That's what they want anyway. If you try to sweet talk them, baby this, baby that, they gonna think you saw. They're gonna think you're a sodomite. So just come at them hard. Just tell them what you want. Tell them what it is. Tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Real soon, their light pocket's gonna be the least of their worries. They're gonna worry about where they're gonna find their next meal. You know what I'm saying? If they don't repent, or if the Lord don't pair them up with a man of the Lord, which, hey, man, a majority of 2/3 of women. So sad to say, the women like that are slated to be destroyed. They're not out chasing men of the Lord. They chasing the next trap star. You know what I mean? the rap niggas. You know, these little social media niggas. You curse one, strip you, and make you bare and curse sackcloth upon your loins. They're gonna be brought very, very low. So this is when you see little clips like this, whether it's real or fake, you know, that spirit is still out there that these women are down bad. That's my part what I titled this video. Eve is down bad. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant field, for the fruitful vine. Yeah, man. So all that, yeah, she gonna be lamenting for, you know, little bars and little restaurants and shit they used to eat at, man. You know, and all hell break loose. And like, man, I miss going out, getting endless biscuits, endless mimosas, brunch, happy hour. You know, they gonna really like lament, man. Like shedding tears, like, oh, you know, their life is over with. They really gonna have the woe is me spirit in that day. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. All right. Let me get that. She that liveth in pleasure. Because the women are like Apostle Carr says, ditto heads, man. You know, they're literal dildo heads. I'm sure majority of these women at this table got a dildo. Like if you're dealing with a woman and you know she has a dildo, then just keep it as, you know, a recreational purposes only, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is the end of Eve, man. Because like I said, women in my generation didn't have this issue. Of course, you know, women will always go out the money type, but then they could meet a nigga that right there at the bar, and you know, make a proposition, be like, look, we short on this, we do whatever, you know, whatever you want us to do, you know, you pick up this tab, we on it tonight. You know, they used to be on that type shit, but now even the niggas are hurting, so they can't rely on a nigga to save them out of this bill. They gonna be washing dishes in the back if they still do that. I don't even think they do that no more. They just like they ain't got the money for the pick up the tab. You know, they probably call the police or make some type of agreement with them, some type of contract. Like, look, if you don't pay this shit, you know, give us your ID. You don't pay this shit in X amount of days, we pressing charges. You know, I'm pretty sure something to that effect. 1 Timothy 5:6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. These women are all in pleasure, you know. Like they love pleasure more than their own children, you know, believe it or not. You know. Yeah, that chocolate one is looking a little busted on the right. But the rest of them, besides I don't know, that big one at the top, you know, they're not horrible looking. So but you know, these are demons here, man. You know, they love pleasure more than their own children. They love pleasure more than their own. I'm pretty sure none of these women are virgins. You know, I'm pretty sure they got some type of nigga that they call, you know, when they get horny, and he come, you know, drill them out and go about this business. You know, this is what Esau promotes. This shit right here, this table right here, man. You know, go out, have fun. You know, you only live YOLO. You only live once. You know, fun is everything. What kind of life? You live a boring life, having a husband and children. That's boring. And that's one thing, you know, you younger brothers gotta realize. Like, look, these modern day women, they look at that. They look at being a family wife or maid or whatever. They look at that shit as boring, man. You know, just know, she's not about that shit no more. She left that life uh many decades ago in the '90s for real, man. You know, they had to show you living single. Na, 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 na. That was a demonic show. But Eve fell for that bait, man. Sex in the City. That's why they out at the bars, at the restaurants. Some Sex in the City shit, you know. All right. Ciroc 26 and 25. I mean, this whole chapter is good, man. This whole chapter is good. But I'm going to go down to the part Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 32 and 7. An evil wife is a yoke, shaking to and fro, and he that hath hold of her is that though he held a scorpion. Yeah, that's plain, man. Hey, these women, they like scorpions. They like animals, man. A drunken woman in a gatter abroad, cause of great anger, and she will not cover her own shame, man. The woman's shame was exposed. The whoredom of a woman may be known in the haughty looks and eyelids. Hey, that's literal right there in that sense, because they had umbrellas, man. You know? Let me jump down to 22. Some women were harlots, and the harlots shall be counted, they are all revealing. A harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband, man. None of them women are married. They married to the streets. Which ain't nothing wrong with women, going out and shit, but you have all them women together, it's nothing but wickedness. All right. So I'm gonna end it there, man. Hey man, Eve, you going down right along with the devil. Shalom.